Happy New Year and welcome to another episode to an episode of Lovin Daily, the first episode of 2021. I am your host Ben, and today I'm joined with my co-host JP. These are the headlines for today. 15-year-old Rebecca Zamit Lupi loses battle with cancer. Lidl confirms it wants to buy 4 Scots outlets. Adrian Delia celebrates huge donation and girlfriend's birthday. Malta's Medical Association calls out slow vaccine rollout. And PM predicts 2021 will be one of the best years in Malta's history. JP, do you want to kick us off with the first story?
Absolutely, and Happy New Year to everyone out there. Unfortunately, despite it being a new year, we do have to start this program with a bit of a sad story. 15-year-old Rebecca Zamit Lupi has lost her battle with cancer. Rebecca, also known as Bex, was a teenage Maltese girl, the daughter of renowned photographer Darren Zamit Lupi, who formerly worked with Times of Malta and Reuters. She was diagnosed with Ewing's sarcoma, which is a cancerous tumor that grows in your bones or the soft tissue around your bones, such as cartilage or nerves. And unfortunately, she passed away over the weekend. Her father and her family took to Facebook to announce the tragic news. She had been battling the disease, the cancer, for quite some time. In October 2019, she was diagnosed and underwent multiple rounds of radiotherapy as she battled the rare form of bone cancer. Obviously, with the onset of the pandemic, it proved even harder for her and her family. Being the photographer he is, her father, Darren, had chronicled her journey with the cancer, showing her how brave she was and how her time in hospital, the Rainbow Ward and whatnot. In fact, it even featured an emotional piece on Reuters. He had wrote an emotional piece on Reuters with a bunch of his photos talking about his daughter's experience. And unfortunately, she lost her battle over the weekend. Obviously, our condolences go out to Darren and the rest of his family for a difficult start to the New Year's, but at least Beck's memory will carry on in his work, and her memory and her fight will be always remembered.
Of course. Unfortunately, this past weekend also saw the loss of quite a big figure in Malta's music industry, Anthony D'Amato, the third-generation owner of the beloved D'Amato record store in Valletta, I believe, which is Malta's first record store, one of Malta's oldest record stores. D'Amato passed away at the age of 75, and again, our sincerest condolences go to his family. On to the next story on a bit of a more positive note, a bit of a happier note. 2021 looks like it's going to be a great year if you love Lidl. Over the weekend, Lidl confirmed that it wants to buy 4 Scots outlets. The deal is currently at the Office for Competition for Scrutiny. This is to check whether the deal breaches competitiveness regulations. Now, this isn't going to be any small deal. Rather, it is believed that this whole deal, the sale of these 4 supermarkets, is worth around €35 million. The spokesperson from Lidl actually said, and I quote, "This agreement concerns just the transfer of a certain number of real estate properties belonging to Scots Group, which will continue operating in the shops that are not part of the transfer." Now, Scots owns 6 supermarkets, Jay.
Yes, exactly. 6 supermarkets in Nasha, Sema, Santa Lucia, Zabar, Fleur-de-Lis and Etard. There's no indication which of these 4 will be transferred to Lidl and which will remain in the hands of Scots. On the other hand, Lidl currently owns 8 supermarkets around Malta and Gozo, Mosta, San Juan, Ormi, Lua, Zurit, Zaytun, Santa Venera and in Gozo. Moving on to our third story of today, former PN leader Adrian Delia celebrates his huge donation and girlfriend's birthday over the weekend. 2020, it seems, marks a new chapter for the former PN leader, who ended last year not on the best of notes after being ousted by current PN leader Bernard Grech. However, yesterday, Delia put a smile on his followers' faces after he published a photo of himself with his girlfriend Cynthia Gallia on the occasion of her birthday. It was one of the first times he publicly acknowledged their relationship on social media. And to be honest, after looking at it, he looked pretty genuinely happy, which is good to see from the man. Delia stole the newspaper headlines over the weekend after making an incredible generous donation on on the Delta Providenza 12-hour marathon. At first, he handed over 22,725 euro check. He then appeared later on behalf of a capital group, a Tunisian business, which recently sponsored Cinema Wanderers, and he presented a whopping €500,000 check to Delta Providenza. It was a bit of a crazy moment. We weren't expecting that. That check alone helped Delta Providenza break a record of over 2 million donations in total, euro donations in total. Obviously, due to the sheer size of the check, it's kind of going under a vetting process. But it seems like things are going up for Dalia, who has said in the past that he will contest the next general election. So it seems like he's well on his way to building his campaign for that.
Yeah, certainly, good for him. However, it wasn't that smooth sailing for Dalia. Actually, some political controversy ensued after Net failed to broadcast Dalia's first donation. This inadvertently led to criticism that Net was trying to to censor its former leader. However, if that was really Net TV's intention, it failed miserably, because the no-show of Dalia's donation only served to give it an even larger platform. Over the weekend, you could see the story of Dalia giving the €500,000 donation pretty much on every front page out there. On to the next story of the day. Malta's Medical Association calls out slow vaccine rollouts. I'm sure we're all waiting anxiously to get vaccinated against COVID-19. However, Malta's Medical Association, the MAM, called out Malta's local health authorities for their very low targets of the COVID-19 vaccine rollout. However, at the same time, the MAM also praised Malta's health ministry for its effective vaccine procurement. Now, as it stands, Malta's health authorities will be rolling out around 2,000 vaccines per week in the coming days. However, this is forecast to be increased to 5,000 per week in the near future. However, whilst this might seem like quite a large number, the MAM highlighted that if that is the case, that if 5,000 vaccines are administered every single week, it would take more than 3 years to vaccinate the entire Maltese population. Pretty unencouraging for people like us who are looking forward to actually get vaccinated.
Absolutely, but you also have to take into consideration the fact that the EU thus far has only procured one of the vaccines, the Pfizer-BioNTech one. They still have to approve the AstraZeneca, Oxford one, and other vaccines in the future. Obviously, the procurement and the approval of that will increase the amount of vaccines Malta has available, and probably would result in more vaccinations happening in a week. So, whilst at this stage it might take a total of 3 years, or at the current rate we're going, obviously we have to understand that more vaccines will be coming in the future from more suppliers. So, hopefully the idea is we'll see things calm down this year. And that leads us on to our next story. Prime Minister Robert Abela predicts that 2021 will be one of the best years in Malta's history. Interviewed on One Radio yesterday, Abela reiterated his forecast that the Maltese economy will start recovering from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic in March, and that the country will return to business as usual in May. Obviously, this comes in light of the COVID-19 vaccine that we have just talked about. Hopefully by summer we would have reached herd immunity. We also have to take in consideration that we have a second round of government vouchers coming out this month, supposedly, so that will also give an extra boost to the economy. But it all really depends on the logistics of getting this vaccine out and the human resources of it. The Prime Minister also urged that Malta not lose its values that it has rediscovered in the early month of the pandemic. I quote, "We must continue understanding the importance of family values, respecting and care for each other, and maintaining a work-life balance. Some values get sidelined in the race for economic development, but now the pandemic has reset our values. Let's not lose the values we gain." So perhaps some good things come out of the pandemic, as well as the idea of getting closer with your loved ones and stuff. And the Prime Minister appealed that we maintain those even past the post-pandemic world, as many people rush to kind of recoup their economic losses. But 2021, fingers crossed, is looking to be a lot better than 2020. Touch wood.
Of course, there's a lot of potential for 2021 to be far better than 2020 was, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And with that, we're coming to we're coming to a conclusion for the first episode of Lovin Daily for 2021. I would like to thank you for tuning in, and once again, have a day full of lovin'.